Yeah, very good afternoon, Alex. As you say, they are the most dominant team in Europe. 14 times Real Madrid have had their hands on the European Cup, and many suspect by tomorrow evening that'll be 15. Gareth Bale, Kaveh, was talking in the papers this morning, and he said the aura of this team, it's hard to put into words, but when you're an opponent, you play the badge and the history and the success, and that already puts them streets ahead when they walk out to play a big game like this.
They're going to be overwhelming favourites tomorrow night, especially because they're playing Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund have been the surprise package of the Champions League this season. Everyone who speaks to expects Real Madrid to win tomorrow night. This is an exceptional Real Madrid side. Everybody knows about Modric and Kroos and Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. But this is a Champions League final. It's a one-off game. So theoretically anything can happen. And if you've watched Borussia Dortmund, I'm sure you have, they're the kind of side who can upset Real Madrid tomorrow night. They're very disciplined, they defend very well, they can hit you on the break. So I think they've got a puncher's chance. But of course, Real Madrid are the favourites to win the Champions League. Lift the European Cup for 15th time. Absolutely incredible. And also Carlo Ancelotti, their manager, Don Carlo.
Yes. If ever there was a man really to manage Real Madrid, it's him, isn't it?
Ancelotti. The job he's done there, the way he carries himself, he's probably the most popular man in football, and he's won it 4 times as a manager and 2 times as a player as well. So he's going for his 7th European Cup tomorrow night. Not the final we were expecting, but still, it is a mouth-watering prospect.
Yeah, so far ahead of everyone else. So there's Carlo Ancelotti. We're just looking 14 times for Real Madrid, AC Milan 7, Liverpool 6, and Bayern Munich 6 as well. Carlo Ancelotti with his star-studded group there. But as you say, Dortmund, it's been a strange one watching them in the Champions League because they haven't performed that well in the Bundesliga, finished 5th. In Edin Terzic, you've got somebody that was here as a fan the last time that Dortmund played in this final in 2013 when they lost to Bayern Munich. But on the big occasions, they have caught out sides, including Paris Saint-Germain. Very few gave them a chance against them.
Yeah, no, they deserve to beat PSG. They did a real number on PSG. They defended well, hit them on the break. They've got some really dangerous players. And this is a club who've lost players like Erling Haaland, who've lost players like Jude Bellingham, who lost players like Jadon Sancho, but they got Sancho back. Yeah. And they keep sort of regenerating themselves. The club keeps moving forward.
Although there's a few old boys in there tomorrow, aren't there?
I'm a bit worried about Matt Hummels.
He was part of the 2013. Marco Reus is as well, who's incredibly popular. Will play. Both of them expected to play their final game for Dortmund tomorrow. But yeah, you're a bit worried about Hummels, aren't you, tomorrow?
I'm a bit worried about how he's going to cope with some of these Real Madrid players and the pace of them. Yeah. But having said that, he played very well against PSG in the semi-final, and he's had a really good season as well. So no, I think Dortmund have got a chance. I still think they've got a chance. Never write off the Germans, and they do love Wembley as well, and they will have incredible support tomorrow night.
We've seen our first scarves, haven't we?
Yeah,
today?
They're famous for having the yellow wall.
Yes,
I think there is going to be a few yellow walls here at Wembley tomorrow night.
And talking of which, Wembley has sort of been on the spotlight a little bit in the build-up this week to the game, because the last really big men's final here was the Euros final, July 2021. You were there that day, and they've spent £5 million, and they're very much on show and want to show that security has been improved and the lessons that they've learnt from that day. It's not going to be quite the same because there isn't an English team here, but people will be watching.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different stories. If you're talking about that Euro final, the problem was that people got carried away because England were in the final. The whole country was sort of surfing a wave of euphoria. The scenes here were absolutely disgraceful. The final wasn't organised properly, the security wasn't good enough, the FA got a lot of things wrong, Wembley got a lot of things wrong. But if you're talking about Champions League finals, especially the last 2, Paris and Istanbul, they have been absolutely disgraceful. Nothing to do with the fans, all to do with UEFA and the organisation. because the organisation of those last two Champions League finals has been totally unacceptable. Now, UEFA is saying all the right things this time round. They've come back to Wembley. They love Wembley because, you know, they love being in London and having so many facilities and hotels, and there's so much room for all their corporate guests as well. The transport is pretty good. But UEFA is saying this time round we're convinced we've got it right. But when we're talking about security tomorrow night, I don't think we should be looking at how the Real Madrid fans are going to behave and how the Dortmund fans are going to behave, because I'm sure they will behave well. I don't think they'll be the problem. The problem will be UEFA and how well this event is organised.
How they get in and get out.
Yeah, exactly. And they're telling us everything is going to work very, very smoothly. We've learned from what went wrong in Paris. We've learned from what went wrong in Istanbul. We just have to wait and see if they actually have.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we?